Alright guys, it's time for the main event of the evening! In this corner, representing Steel City Interactive, Undisputed Boxing! And in this corner, representing EA, Fight Night Champion! Let's get it on! Ding! Seriously though, it's time for the Undisputed Boxing review. So this is the first simulation boxing game we've gotten since EA's Fight Night Champion in 2011. You believe that? 13 years since we've gotten a simulation boxing game. Well, at least Fight Night Champion was really good, so that game, you could still play it to this day. So at least the last one they made was good. You can thank our lucky stars for that. So Undisputed Boxing was developed by Steel City Interactive, and it was published by Deep Silver, and they're the same publishers behind the upcoming Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They also published Dead Island 2, Metro Exodus, and the newest Saints Row flop, which killed Volition. So there's a few hit or misses in there, as far as the publishing's concerned. But Steel City Interactive, I believe this is their first game that they've developed, so that's tough because expectations going into this game are really high, honestly. Because if you're going to do this, it at least has to be better than Fight Night Champion. At least has to be better than Fight Night Champion, or else why even make the game? So there's only a few game modes to choose from here. You got Career Mode. That's the mode that lets you create your own boxers, start from the bottom, and fight your way to the top. Then you got Online Mode. That allows you to fight against other people online, obviously, as you try to win one of the online belts. It has leaderboards that keep track of everyone's stats, so that's nice, but it doesn't help that it's full of cheaters, so yeah, that's every online game nowadays, isn't it? And then you got quick fights and prize fight modes. The quick fights just allow you to quickly pick two boxers and jump right into the action. Pretty straightforward, like a play now mode. And prize fights are different matchups released weekly, I believe, that you can fight through. And depending on how well you do, you'll be rewarded points for the week. And you try to see if you can get the most points for the week out of the 3 fights. That's what I gathered from it. It's actually kind of fun when you just want to jump on and do a couple quick fights and try out a few different boxers that you might not have fought with before. So I did like that mode. And of course, there's already a store right out the gate where you can purchase boxers and attires immediately. What's a modern game without a store? The game might be broken still when they launch, but the store is going to run perfect. Let me tell you how perfect pressing that buy button and getting that stuff is going to happen. It's going to be server issues. Yeah, might not be able to play the game, but you won't have server issues buying something from the store. Let me tell you that. Alright, so let's dive into the gameplay aspects of this. We'll talk about the good. The changes that they made to movement and punching with the full release patch is definitely a step in the right direction based on where it was during early access. I mean, the slips and the blocking feel more fluid and the punches chain together a lot better than they did in early access, at least. The punches are also more accurate than they were during early access, but they were absolutely atrocious. So I guess that's not really saying much. Having a career mode that allows you to hire your own training staff and negotiate your own fight contracts is a welcome addition to the boxing genre, in my opinion. It adds depth to your fighting career. You actually see your staff in the corner during fights giving you advice. You can hear them yelling at you and stuff. It's a nice detail that goes a long way. And the training staff that you hire also offer different perks that you can apply to your boxers, so that's a plus. And if you don't like the percentage of pay that your manager negotiated for you, then you can take control and do the negotiations yourself. But you risk losing out on a fight, because they might just back out and say, go fuck yourself. It's kind of high risk, high reward, but I like to have the option to do so. The career mode Create a Boxer is pretty in-depth as far as making your boxer look how you want them to look. There could be more cosmetic and hair choices, but there's enough here to make your boxer feel unique. And like I said before, prize fights are a real nice mode to play when you just want to get on, have a few fights, and jump off. I really enjoyed having them pick different matchups for me to play, and I wanted to see how many points I could get during the fight. I honestly had most of my fun playing through the prize fights in this game, surprisingly. The damage that you can inflict on your opponent in this game is brutal. I love it. You guys know how I love the brutality. It's brutal! The cuts and the blood look amazing, and you really start feeling bad for your opponent. Or yourself, when the boxer's eyes are both swollen shut and spewing blood from both sides, and the ref steps in and tells him, "Sorry bud, you can't even see, you're done." It's very satisfying to get a ref stoppage, but I will say, of all the fights that I had, the ref never stopped it on the first stoppage, so he would always check on the fighter first. I didn't like that because after the first few times, you know what's going to happen. And the clock keeps going, so these assholes get saved by the bell all the time because you're just pummeling their face. And then at like 17 seconds left in the round, when you're about to put them down for the count, this asshole stops the fight. "Let me look at your face. Yeah, you're okay." She's just bleeding all over. Can't even see. Can't even see his eyeballs anymore. He's looking around like he could see something. "Yeah, you're okay. Just keep going." It's like, dude, just stop the fight, man. But yeah, so I never got a stoppage on the first ref intervention. Well, that's all I had for the good parts of the gameplay, so let's move on to the bad. Punching in general does not feel good. The range for punches is still atrocious. It was bad during early access, and they have improved it some since then, but it's still really bad. You basically have to be within 6 inches of somebody to hit them with anything, including jabs and straights. It really kills different styles of boxers and forces you to fight inside and become a hook machine. Punches come off as very weak. No matter what kind of punch you throw or if you use the power modifier or not, they're just weak as fuck. You could hit your opponent flush with a 5-piece combo. I'm talking like a fucking jab, straight, hook to the body, hook to the head, hook to the head. And you cap those 2 hooks to the head off with power modifiers, and he just walks away. And then he turns around and proceeds to throw 1 straight at you and knocking you down. It makes no sense. It makes for a very frustrating and head-scratching experience for me. Also, the punches are not fluid at all, so you can't really combo in this game like you want to. When you're punching, the mechanics feel more akin to the UFC fighting games, I think, or fighting games with actual combos in general, and I'll try to explain that. What I mean is that you can't just fight how you normally would in real life throwing punches. It has to be the right combo for the game to recognize, or else you just stop punching. It's not a smooth combo. You just kind of stop. And even though you press the button, you end up just standing there and taking the punch because you expected your guy to do what you pressed. This messes up your punch flow and usually leads to you taking some serious damage sometimes. The punches take forever to throw. Like I said, when you're trying to throw the combo, even when just throwing a 1-2 jab straight. God forbid if you try to use the power modifier, tack on another full second for your guy to wind up the punch. So that's what it's like. That's how long, that noise is how long it takes him to throw the punch. So if you're boxing, you're like, jab, straight, hook. It's like, how the fuck are you supposed to combo that? The dude's already on the other side of the ring by your time your guy swings his hook. It ends up looking and feeling very unrealistic, to say the least. Everything about the punching is just so damn slow, and combined with the horrendous punching range, you have the recipe for a real shitty boxing experience, let me tell you. Movement and footwork are also very terrible. It feels like tank controls for a boxing game. You have to stop moving in order to do a slip or a bob and weave, and then it takes a second for you to move again. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just not fluid at all. Footwork is almost non-existent in this game because of the lack of punching range and the sluggishness of the combos. You have to wait for each animation to finish before you can do the next one. And if you do something before the animation finishes, your guy will just stand there because it didn't register. And in this regard to movement, Fight Night Champion has this game beat by leaps and bounds. The way you can move in and out and sidestep just with the flick of the stick. You have to press all these fucking buttons. That's another thing. The controls are annoying and way too convoluted. I don't know what the fuck. Dude, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Fight Night Champion already laid the groundwork for you. The way you use the stick, the way you punch, the way you block, the way you move, everything was fine. Just improve on that. Why did you try to reinvent the wheel here? It doesn't make any sense to me. This game has you pressing so many damn buttons to do the most basic of things that it becomes way too tedious just to do something like block. So you press right trigger to block. This is with the Xbox controller. You press right trigger to block. Then you have left bumper and LT for block modifiers. but LT is also for weaving. But if you don't block the exact perfect spot for the punch, then the block is useless, so you're better off just not blocking and just overwhelming your guy with punches and then moving away. There are way too many things going on with the controls in this game, seriously. Fight Night Champion had the control scheme down pat, but these guys wanted to do their own thing and it backfired in my opinion. Because the controls contribute heavily to the robotic feel of this game. It feels very, very robotic. This game feels less like a simulation boxing game and more like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, where you both just stand there spamming buttons until the head pops. Alright, so career mode is very bare bones and it lacks any depth. It's like one step forward, two steps back in this game's career mode, because it adds the ability to hire your own training staff and negotiate your own contracts, and even do the media events. But it's all just text-based things. It does not, I repeat, so that you guys understand, it does not allow you to play your own training sessions. It just makes you pick what you want to do. I want to hit the heavy bag, and then you get the results. So Fight Night Champion, I could go spar, I could do the speed bag, the heavy bag, I could go train my guy for every fight. 13 years ago. In this game, it's text-based, just numbers. I just pick, I want to go train on the heavy bag, and then it gives me the little numbers and says, there you go. So fucking fun, dude. It's so engaging and fun. I just love it. Yeah, so since there's no training mini games, after a few fights you get bored with just fighting your fight, going back to the menu, and then fighting the next fight. There's just nothing in between, really. And you have to keep your stamina up during training, and also focus on staying within weight, which sounds cool. It's realistic, right? But it's not. Since there aren't any training mini games and everything is just text-based, you end up just doing the same training routine pretty much for every fight. Mostly, if you're working on a certain stat or something, you just do the same training exercise every time. The reason for this is because you have to juggle your stamina and your weight, and even though you have different options of training, you end up doing the same things over and over because there's only a couple different combinations of training and recovery that you can do in order to maintain fighting shape on fight day. Because if you do certain ones, then you're going to be undertrained for fight day, or you're going to be overweight for fight day. So there's only a couple combinations that you can do that'll actually keep you within optimal training and within optimal weight before fight day. So it makes the whole process a bore fest, and it really brings the career mode down in my opinion. The career mode emails and media feed are cool to have there, but they get boring really fast too. You just end up ignoring most of them 5 fights into your career. I mean, 5 fights, you're already just like, come on, whatever. You don't even look at them. But that's it. There's really not much else to career mode. You fight in an amateur tournament, then you start your pro career, and then you fight until you retire, and there's not much in between. And that's fine. Fight Night Champion was very similar, but at least I could do my training and be in control of my boxer and how he grows. And also, here's one of the worst things that never got fixed in my opinion from early access. The hooks are still way overpowered in the full release. I was just hooking my way through career mode. In many fights, I purposely didn't throw anything but hooks, just to see what would happen, and I just kept winning. So, that's not good. A couple fights I actually I tested out the stamina and just didn't back off and just kept throwing hooks, and I won. I literally just overwhelmed the guy and won. I just kept throwing hooks. I was out of stamina. I was like, and I finally just knocked him down. He couldn't even punch me because I kept hitting him before he could throw a punch. I just kept throwing hooks. That's not good. So to summarize the gameplay, overall, the gameplay has been slightly, and I mean slightly, improved on from the early access version, but it's still nowhere near what you'd want a boxing game to be. The sluggish tank control movement combined with the over-convoluted controls and the combo lag make for a poor boxing experience. If you're a fan of boxing games, you'll just want to play Fight Night Champion the entire time you're playing this game. It's really unfortunate because everything they need is there, except the damn gameplay. Alright, moving on to the visuals. We'll talk about the good aspects of them. Graphics in this game are pretty damn good. The game looks very modern and gritty, and it has amazing detail when it comes to damage and cuts on people's faces. I appreciate the gory realism. And most of the licensed boxers look true to themselves. Most of them. Presentation before and after the fights are also well done. and everything that you'd expect to be there is there. You know, from the walks to the ring, to the introductions, to the tales of the tape. It's all there, and pretty well done. And also, like I said earlier, having your actual training staff that you hired in your corner during the fight is a nice little touch. And they're screaming at you, yelling at you, giving you advice in between. So that is a nice touch. I like that. Alright, the bad aspects of the visuals. I honestly don't have too much bad to say about the visuals, other than the boxers and animations can look very robotic and unrealistic when you get into those rock'em sock'em robot moments, where both of you are just standing there throwing hooks at each other and both missing every punch from 6 inches away. It's pretty funny, honestly, when you're both just throwing punches from 6 inches away and nobody's hitting anybody. Because the game's accuracy, everything is so bad, you're just throwing punches, you can't even hit anybody, you're just both missing. It's pathetic. So to summarize the visuals, the graphics were up to par for modern games for sure, and the gritty realism of the damage system was definitely a plus in my book. The good graphics won't save you from getting pulled out of the realism by bad animations and unrealistic punching though. That's unfortunate. Alright, moving on to the sound of this game. Talk about the good. The soundtrack was serviceable for this game. It wasn't great, but it didn't drive me insane, so that's a nice touch. The commentating was usually good, and it helped to add realism and suspense to the fights. And the sounds of the fights themselves are good, with punches sounding real crunchy and your trainers yelling at you over the crowd. It adds to the thrill of the fight. And the bad aspects of the sound are, although the commentating is usually good, it can be really bad sometimes too. Like after a while, the commentators can start to become dry and they say wrong things at times. Like for instance, when introducing me, they said, "Fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with red trim." And I was wearing white trunks with white trim, but alright. Maybe the guy's colorblind, I don't know. I'm not going to hold it against him. So to summarize the sound, most of the sound in this game is on point. From the ring noise, to the punches, to the introductions, to the commentary. It's all there. The commentators can get boring and have gaffes from time to time, but other than that, they nailed the sound of boxing. It's pretty good. Alright, so moving on to my final thoughts of this game. Undisputed Boxing is definitely improved since its early access release, but not enough to even be better than Fight Night Champion. A game that was made in 2011 by EA nonetheless. Albeit it was 2011 EA, but whatever, it's still EA. The movement and footwork are slow, sluggish, and tanky, while the punching is like Rock'em Sock'em Robots meets Mr. Magoo. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? The career mode is bare bones, and it offers less than the career mode from Fight Night Champion, a game made 13 years ago, so that's not a good sign. Graphically, the game looks great, especially the damage done to boxers. I love it. And same goes for the sound. It's all there aside from a gaff or two from the commentators from time to time. So should you buy this game? No! No, you should not buy this game, at least as of right now. The game could still be improved on, but it's highly unlikely because the improvements needed have to do with the core gameplay loop itself, which, if they were going to fix that, they would have fixed it already. This game, although it looks much better than Fight Night Champion, is light years behind Fight Night in terms of gameplay and movement. The tanky movement along with the terrible punching mechanics make this game a very unenjoyable experience. Just pick up Fight Night Champion on sale for like $8 and play that instead. If you have Game Pass, it's free. And I recommend Fight Night Champion because the game still has active servers and it has so many more features than Undisputed, including starting your own gym online and sparring with your friends and fighting other gyms for bragging rights. How awesome is that? In that game, still, the servers are up right now. You can start your own gym and start a character online and go on the gym and fight with your friends and spar with the headgear and all that stuff, and then go fight online through the ranks against real people and try to win a belt. And people still play it. Those features alone for online make it way better than Undisputed Boxing. I don't know what they were thinking. How do you have those features 13 years ago, but we can't have that now? And you guys make excuses. Whatever. Also, Fight Night Champion allows you to do training mini games and actually train your boxer. How the fuck do you have a boxing game at the career mode and you can't train your boxer? Holy shit, did you drop the ball? So no, don't buy Undisputed Boxing unless they drastically overhaul the game, or you see it on sale for under $8. And that's my take on this game, guys. If you guys made it this far, I got a treat for you. I brought in a special guest today. Hey, yo, Rocky, come here, bro. Hey, man, sit on. I had Rocky Balboa play this fucking game. Because I wanted to get a boxing perspective, you know? I wanted to see if I was just crazy. Am I just not liking this game, you know? And so I brought in Rocky Balboa, dude. I mean, the name recognition alone, everybody knows Rocky. I mean, if he says it's shit, then you know it's shit. So I'm going to let him slide in here and let you guys know what it's all about.
Hey, yo, I'm Rocky Balboa. I'm the Italian stallion. So, hey, yo, I played the Undisputed Boxing game. And I wasn't really sure. Wait, I can't. Hey, I Sir Ethan, I can't.
What's wrong, man?
I don't really read so well, so I just gotta go out the cut.
Oh, okay, yeah, man. No, fuck the notes, dude. Just tell them what you gotta say.
Alright, yeah, I can't read very much. And then, you know, it got worse after I got the brain damage from Ivan Drago, you know, it just.
Yeah, we get it, Rocky. Get back to the game, man. So you played the game. What did you think of it?
Was like I got in the game and I tried to throw some punches, but I couldn't hit nobody. It was like the guy was like 6 inches in front of my face, and I couldn't hit nothing, man. So I was just like, what's going on here? I mean, I chased the chickens around. I trained with Mick. I didn't know what was going on. So I had to change up my style. I just started throwing hooks too. I mean, that is kind of my style. At least I didn't get knocked out, because the one thing I got is I got a strong head, even though I got the brain damage. I got the brain damage from Ivan Drago. But, you know, it didn't help that I got in a fight in the streets with Tommy Gunn, and then I decided to get in the ring with Antonio Tarver like 20 years later.
So, yeah, Rocky, we get it, dude. Like, we seen the movies, we understand. Like, what did you think of the game?
Well, I mean, it wasn't very good. I didn't like it, you know, and I thought I was gonna like it because I like boxing, I like fighting. I'm a fighter, so, you know, I thought it would be good, but I can't even hit anybody. So what the hell am I playing a fighting game for if I can't even punch anybody? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But at least I got a strong chin, so I could stand in there. I am a rock'em sock'em robot, so I could go in there and just throw till the wheels come off, man. You could go as Apollo passed away. You could go as Clubber Lang. You could go as Ivan Drago. I go in there and slug with the best of them, but, you know, not in this game. I can't punch in this game, man. If I can't punch, I can't fight, you know. It's like when Mick came over and he said, and we gotta knock his block off, and I was like, absolutely. I can't do that here. I would have told him absolutely not. If I can't punch nobody.
All right, Rocky. I mean, I appreciate it, dude. I think they get the point. Thanks for stopping by.
I'm Rocky Balboa. I'm the Italian stallion.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Here's your $50, bro. Peace out. I'll come see you at your restaurant soon, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I just beat the cancer.
Yeah, see you later, bro. You know, those nights that he decided to stop by, I appreciate the time, you know. But even Rocky didn't like this fucking game, so I don't know, man. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys like this game? Do you not like this game? Are you guys having fun with it? Are you not having fun with it? I will say that about this is there's so many moments because it looks good. You want the game to be fun. Like when you knock somebody down, finally, it's like, yeah, like, and you get these little glimpses, man, and then they just go away right away. Like, oh, I want the game to, if the punching mechanics were there, dude, and the footwork was there, this game would be kick ass, but it's not. So anyways, guys, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I've been going too long, and I gotta make sure Rocky made it out of here and didn't fall down the fucking stairs, because we know he's got the brain damage, as he loves to say. So, alright, guys, peace.